The Congo isn't just a rainforest, it's practically Mother Nature's haunted house. From giant bats that could star in their own horror movie to trees that just casually walk, this place is a hub of terrifying discoveries. So, grab a snack and get ready for 30 terrifying discoveries in Congo. The enigmatic Bondo ape. It is the Bondo ape, and this unusually large ape looks like the main character of folklore. It is also known as the Bili Uwere chimpanzee. It is a whopping 5 feet tall when standing. These apes have a human-like flat face, massive strength, and a chilling reputation among local people. These are also nicknamed lion killers since these creatures have a reputation for taking on the apex predators. But what sets them apart is that, unlike most chimpanzees that shy away from confrontation, the Bondo apes are fearless. They build ground nests, walk upright for extended periods, and have hunting techniques that are really intelligent. Some researchers even think that they represent a transitional link between apes and early hominids. This discovery has left scientists wanting to learn more about their behaviors and evolutionary significance. The flu kinda outbreak. The peace of the Congo's Congo province was suddenly disrupted when whispers of a mysterious illness started sweeping through the villages. By the time the villagers realized what was happening, over 300 people were infected, and tragically, 143 people had lost their lives. And the most mysterious part about this illness was that it mostly affected teenagers aged 16 to 18. The symptoms were the same old fever, coughing, severe headaches, difficulty breathing, and anemia. But it looked like the flu had come out of a historical book of diseases. When health officials rushed in, they were baffled. No virus or bacteria they tested for matched the symptoms. This left everyone wondering what in the world was this. While some people thought it could be a new zoonotic disease, others still feared it was the beginning of a pandemic. Thankfully, the outbreak vanished as mysteriously as it began. Nature's carbon hoarder. In the depths of the Congo Basin lies something that you would never expect to make global headlines. It's a swamp, but it's not just any swamp. It is the king of swamps. Think of an area the size of England, but instead of tea-drinking Brits, it's packed with billions of tons of soggy and carbon-filled dirt. Scientists discovered this massive peatland in 2014, and it's officially one of the world's largest carbon storage sites. And here's where it gets both fascinating and terrifying. This peat bog has been sitting there for over 10,000 years. It has been quietly locking away carbon that could otherwise turn up the heat on climate change. Sounds like a hero, right? Except, if disturbed, this soggy sponge could release the equivalent of 20 years worth of fossil fuel emissions into the atmosphere. So, basically it's like nature's ticking time bomb. It's harmless if left alone, but catastrophic if someone decides to drain it or dig around. So, let's all collectively promise to let this swampy superhero do its thing and stay far, far away. The electric river. If you thought rivers were just for lazy boat rides and fishing trips, think again. There is a river that flows in the wild Congolese rainforest. Scientists have named it the Electric River. No, it doesn't have power lines running through it, but its waters are home to an unusually high population of electric fish. These fish are enough to make you seriously rethink dipping your toes in. The highlight of this underwater crew is the African electric catfish. It is capable of delivering shocks strong enough to incapacitate prey, or, an unlucky human. Local people have been avoiding this zappy stretch of water for a long time, and it has become a fascinating topic for researchers studying bioelectricity. Croc-sized fish. The term crocodile-sized fish might make you feel like it's one of those crazy campfire stories. But in Congo's waters, there's a Goliath tigerfish that's so big and so mean that it could probably win a fight against a crocodile and still have room for dessert. These bad boys grow up to 5 feet long and weigh over 100 pounds. They have such sharp teeth that a single bite could make you go mad. Like, it's kinda better if we were stuck fishing in the kiddie pool. They're fierce predators chomping through fish, birds, and any unlucky insect who dares to come near. Basically, just remember that a crocodile-sized fish in Congo is not a fishing tail. It's a warning. The creative spider. In the heart of the Congo forest, there's a spider that's either a genius or just plain creepy. Meet the Cyclosa molmenensis. It is a master of disguise. Instead of building a boring old web and waiting for dinner, this arachnid constructs an actual decoy spider using debris, dead insects, and silk. And if you're also wondering why, to fool predators, of course. The fake spider looks so original that it even has legs. Scientists discovered this 8-legged Picasso in Congo, and it blew their minds. It's not every day you find a spider pulling off a reverse Halloween costume. But here's the stuff of nightmares. Some of these decoys are bigger than the spider itself. The next time you stumble upon a spider, maybe double check if it's actually a spider, or is it a disturbingly creative doppelganger? Alien-looking fungus. If you're planning to trek through the jungle at night, you might suddenly see the forest floor glowing like something out of Avatar. No, you didn't accidentally eat some trippy mushrooms. Those are the actual mushrooms that you're seeing. Scientists in Congo have recently identified a bioluminescent fungus that emits a strange green glow. This fungus isn't just for show, though. The glow attracts insects, which helps spread its spores far and wide. It's like nature's version of a clever marketing campaign. But let's be real, stumbling upon glowing fungi in the middle of the rainforest is cool but also terrifying. I mean, who needs a flashlight when you've got fungi lighting the way? Just don't get too close. It is a fungus after all, and nobody wants glowing spores in their shoes. The mind control fungus. Yep, you heard that right. Zombies are real in Congo's rainforests, but thankfully they're limited to ants for now. Meet Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, a fungus that infects ants, takes over their brains, and forces them to climb to a high point before killing them. Once the ant dies, the fungus bursts out of its body and releases spores to infect even more ants. It's like The Last of Us, but on a much smaller scale, and way too real. Scientists studying this fungus in Congo are fascinated by how it evolved to control its hosts with such precision. Meanwhile, the rest of us are just praying it doesn't figure out how to infect larger creatures. The dinosaur, like Mokele Mbembe. Some mythical tales of a massive long-necked creature roaming around in Congo's rivers have been circulating for centuries. Locals call it the Mokele Mbembe, which roughly translates to one who stops the flow of rivers. Such Jurassic Park feels, I know, right? But while no one has officially confirmed its existence, there have been countless reports of sightings. Some describe it as resembling a sauropod dinosaur, saying that it has a body the size of an elephant and a neck long enough to rival a giraffe. Expeditions have been launched to find this alleged living fossil, but so far, Mokele Mbembe remains as elusive as Bigfoot. Whether it's a real dinosaur or just an elaborate myth, it's hard not to wonder what might still be hiding in Congo's uncharted waters. The cursed mines of Shinkolobwe. Shinkolobwe might sound like a fun tongue twister, but this Congolese mine has a dark and dangerous history. Back in the 1940s, uranium extracted from this mine was used to build the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But that's not where the spookiness ends. The mine has long been associated with mysterious illnesses and deaths among workers. And rumors of a curse have also persisted for decades. While scientists say that the radiations from the mine are more likely the culprits, local people still believe the mine is haunted by the spirits of those who perished there. The Jibafofi. In the denser areas of the Congo rainforest, locals often tell about the Jibafofi. It is a terrifying giant spider with a leg span of up to 6 feet. This scary insect is said to weave massive webs, strong enough to trap birds and small animals. While no hard proof of these colossal arachnids exists, the consistent sightings by locals have kept the legend alive. Now, not sure if it's a case of mistaken identity or something truly monstrous, but the thought of walking into a web the size of a hammock is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. If spiders aren't your thing, you might want to stay miles away from Congo's jungles. The enormous underground caves. Beneath the lush rainforests of the Congo, there is a fascinating network of underground cave systems, especially in the areas with limestone-rich karst topography, such as parts of the Sankuru province. While these caves remain largely unexplored due to their remote locations, scientists believe they may host unique ecosystems. Similar caves worldwide have revealed eyeless fish, blind crustaceans, and other organisms. These creatures are adapted to total darkness, so it's possible that Congo's caves could hold similar surprises. The myth of the flying snake. Snakes are already pretty high on the nope list for most people, but Congo's mythical Ngumba Yaempembe takes things to a whole new level. According to local legends, this snake doesn't just slither, it flies. Sightings of the flying snake are rare and often dismissed as exaggerations, but that hasn't stopped the stories from spreading. Witnesses describe it as having wings or flaps of skin that let it glide from tree to tree. Some people even claim that it can emit a loud, piercing hiss that can be heard from miles away. Scientists are still skeptical, but let's be honest. Congo's rainforests are so vast and unexplored that almost anything is possible. The lake that explodes. Lake Kivu is one of Africa's Great Lakes. It might look serene, but don't be fooled. It's sitting on a deadly secret. Under its calm surface, there is a massive danger of carbon dioxide and methane. Scientists call it a limnic eruption, and when it happens, the gases suddenly burst to the surface. This creates a deadly cloud that can suffocate everything in its path. In 1986, a similar event occurred at Lake Nyos in Cameroon. It killed over 1,700 people. But Lake Kivu is a much bigger lake with even more gas stored up. So, to prevent disaster, engineers are working on extracting the methane for energy, but the risk of an eruption still looms. Imagine sitting by the lake, enjoying the view, when suddenly the water bubbles like a giant soda can being opened. It's beautiful, sure, but also extremely dangerous and potentially fatal. The sticky insects. Guys, there is a creature found in Congo that can kinda glue you down. It is a tiny but terrifying insect called the tumbu fly. These little creepy insects lay their eggs on damp clothing or skin. And when the larvae hatch, they burrow into flesh. Yep, you heard that right, into the flesh. And it doesn't stop there. The larvae stay under the skin and grow into little lumps that have to be removed by squeezing them out. Travelers to the region are advised to iron their clothes before wearing them to kill any eggs. This is great advice, but also completely horrifying when you think about why it's necessary. So, if you're ever packing for a trip to Congo, maybe throw in a travel iron. You'll thank me later. The mega bat. Okay, bats are already a little creepy, but now imagine one with a wingspan of nearly 6 feet. Here, meet the hammer-headed bat, which is a resident of Congo's lush rainforests. This flying giant looks like it has flown in straight from a Halloween party. Its oversized and moose-like face is mildly horrifying. But don't panic, because these bats are fruit lovers, not bloodsuckers. Even though their size alone is enough to send most people running for cover. Oh, and let me tell you about their amazing mating calls. It sounds like a mix between a honk and a growl. Romantic, right? If you ever spot one, remember they're harmless, just really, really big. The tree that bleeds poison. Go trekking deep into the Congo basin, and you might stumble upon the Antiaris toxicaria. It is also known as the poison arrow tree, because its sap is so toxic that indigenous hunters have used it for centuries to coat their arrow tips. The tree's milky white sap is packed with cardiac glycosides. Basically, it's nature's version of a heart attack in a bottle. Even a tiny amount can cause paralysis or death. And what's even more dangerous is that when the sap dries, it turns into a glue-like substance that clings to whatever it touches. So, for anyone planning to wander through the rainforest, when you see a tree oozing white sap, maybe don't get too curious. Mother Nature doesn't mess around here. The invisible fish. If you thought piranhas were the scariest thing in the water, meet the elephant nose fish. This odd-looking creature is small, but it's equipped with a weapon of electroreception. This fish uses electric fields to navigate and hunt in the dark waters of the Congo River. Its tiny trunk is actually a highly sensitive organ that helps it detect even the faintest of movements. But here's the scariest part. It's so stealthy that it's practically invisible to predators and prey. It's like swimming in the river thinking you're alone, but only to realize a whole squad of these little guys is silently stalking you. I don't know about you, but for me, it's really creepy. The secretive tribes. In the dense regions of the Congo rainforest, there are tribes who have mastered the art of vanishing. No, it's not magic, just a lifetime of surviving in one of the world's most challenging environments. These tribes are such a pro at blending into their surroundings that even some of the modern explorers have struggled to find them. For instance, the Mbenga people are known for their extraordinary tracking skills and deep knowledge of the forest. They can navigate dense jungles with ease, leaving no trace of their presence. For outsiders, it's like they simply dissolve into the greenery. While their skills are a testament to human adaptability, it's also a little scary to think about people watching you without you ever knowing they're there. The spider goat. No, the spider goat isn't some weird scientific experiment gone wrong. It's actually true. In parts of the Congo, researchers have discovered goats that have been genetically modified to produce spider silk proteins in their milk. This is because spider silk is one of the strongest materials on Earth, and farming spiders isn't exactly easy, because they're not great roommates. The goats themselves look totally normal, but their milk can be processed to extract the silk proteins. It's like nature and science teamed up to create the weirdest superhero origin story ever. While the idea of spider goats sounds like the plot of a low-budget horror movie, it's actually paving the way for revolutionary materials in medicine and engineering. Like, who knew Congo would be the birthplace of silk-producing livestock? Amazing. The River of Death. The Congo River is mainly just famous for its size, but it's also home to a deadly section called the Inga Rapids. This part of the river holds one of the most dangerous waters in the world. It has massive whirlpools and currents that have swallowed countless boats and claimed many lives. The rapids are so powerful that even modern ships equipped with the latest technology struggle to navigate them. Locals refer to it as the River of Death, and the stories of boats disappearing without a trace add to its mysterious reputation. This means that anyone planning a Congo River cruise must double-check the itinerary to make sure it doesn't include this terrifying water slide. The giant crocodiles. Lake Tanganyika is a stunning water body, but it's not all sunsets and serene boat rides. This lake is home to Nile crocodiles, and some of these crocodiles grow to lengths of 20 feet or more. These crocs owe their massive size to the lake's abundant fish population. This serves as a complete buffet to the crocodiles, and their impressively long lifespans. These reptiles are stealthy predators, lying just below the surface until the perfect moment to strike. And if something that big is hiding in the water, there's no safe zone. So, if you're thinking of taking a dip, maybe reconsider. Lake Tanganyika's crystal clear waters might just hide one of nature's most efficient killing machines. The meat ant swarms. Army ants in the Congo Basin aren't your average creepy crawlers. These tiny creatures are so aggressive that they can strip an animal carcass down to the bone in mere minutes. They travel in massive swarms that are often several meters wide. These ants will attack anything in their path. Locals know better than to stand still when these ants are on the move. And that fun fact is that some species of army ants can even form bridges and rafts with their own bodies to cross obstacles. That's right, they're well coordinated, relentless, and terrifyingly effective. The elusive okapi. This next one, the okapi, is one of the Congo's most fascinating animals. And spotting one of these in the wild is like finding a needle in a haystack. This shy creature has the body of a horse, striped legs like a zebra, and a giraffe-like head. This makes it look like nature's version of an animal mashup. It is native to the Ituri forest, and the okapi is a master of camouflage. It blends seamlessly into its surroundings. It's so elusive that Western science didn't even confirm its existence until the early 20th century. If you ever go trekking in the Congo and think you've seen an okapi, count yourself lucky. It's like winning the wildlife lottery. The carnivorous plant. The Congo rainforest is home to some of the most bizarre and terrifying flora. This also includes a species of carnivorous plant that feeds on small animals like frogs. These plants use sticky secretions and hairs to trap their prey, eventually digesting them for nutrients. While they're not exactly a threat to humans, the idea of a plant eating anything other than sunlight and water is unsettling enough. Plus, if these plants are evolving to eat frogs now, who knows what's next? It's like nature's way of reminding us not to underestimate it. The human-sized nests. Weaver ants in the Congo don't mess around when it comes to real estate. These industrious insects build massive nests in trees. These nests are sometimes large enough to resemble bird colonies. These nests house thousands of ants that will aggressively defend their territory. Their bite is not only painful, but also chemically irritating, as they release formic acid to increase the sting. Locals know better how to stay away from these ant skyscrapers, but if you accidentally disturb one, good luck, because you'll be dealing with an army that doesn't take prisoners. The killer hornet. If you thought the giant African bees were the worst, think again. The Congo is home to an even more terrifying creature. It is the Vespa tropica, also known as the Congo hornet. These hornets are known for their aggressive nature and painful sting, which can cause severe allergic reactions in humans. What makes them even more disturbing is that they live in large colonies deep in the rainforest. These are often in areas that are hard to reach. The hornets are particularly dangerous during their mating season. The thought of walking through the dense jungle and disturbing an entire colony of these aggressive insects, that's a nightmare in the making. The electric stones of Congo. There's a bizarre and terrifying phenomenon in Congo that's both scientific and a little bit magical: the electric stones. These stones can be found in certain parts of the country. These are known to generate an electric charge strong enough to give anyone who touches them a serious shock. While these stones have been the subject of local folklore for years, science finally caught up and confirmed that they are part of a naturally occurring mineral formation. It produces electricity through a process called piezoelectricity. When pressure is applied to certain crystals or minerals, they can produce an electrical charge. In Congo, these electric stones have been found near volcanic regions, where volcanic activity creates the perfect environment for these minerals to form. The stone circles. In Senegal and the Gambia, there are hundreds of ancient stone circles discovered. These circles are as old as 1,500 years and are still a mystery. These large, several-foot-tall stones are thought to have been used for ceremonial or astronomical purposes. However, their exact function is still unknown. Some people believe they mark graves or serve as sites for spiritual rituals. Their alignment and the sheer scale of the project are strange and mysterious. It feels like they are from an ancient culture with knowledge of the stars. Wandering among these ancient ruins, it's impossible not to wonder, what secret did these stones once hold? And that's all for today. What do you think about Congo? Will you ever dare to go on a solo trip to this strange place? Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons. See you in the next one. Goodbye.